he kindly told her that sometimes patience was necessary, and he would allow her to eat to her heart's content. He thought about acting as a caring father, getting Suzuko's condition to completeness, and how clearing dungeons would become much easier. He envisioned those who had looked down on him in the past feeling ashamed. She couldn't believe that her daddy gave her pats, leaving him a bit confused. However, she tightly grabbed him, expressing her happiness and promising to be a good girl. Her grip was so strong that he started bleeding and asked her to put him down. Suddenly, the reporter on the television announced that something was happening just in time, startling both of them. The television started showing errors, and he exclaimed that it couldn't be. He looked out of the window in panic and noticed that the dungeon advent was earlier than expected. He couldn't believe it and watched as a green light emerged from the ground and reached towards the sky. He recognized the scene as the Black Forest dungeon. Suddenly, something emerged from underground, and a monstrous creature with many eyes appeared before him. He fell to the ground, screaming in fear, and the system warned him that the Black Forest had manifested. He stood there, shocked, staring at it. Suzuko then appeared by his side, shouting that the creature was a pest and angrily telling it to go away. The creature vanished quickly, and the system showed that he was freed from the eyeball. Suzuko then playfully lifted him while exclaiming that her daddy was hers, and he shouted at her to put him down. She complied and asked if it was time to eat yet. He told her that he'd prepare something soon, wondering what was happening. Then he felt a painful sensation on his head, and the system warned him that the strange kept monster had been detected, and the Black Forest's curse had activated. The Black Forest's level increased, and Suzuko looked at him with concern. He wondered what the curse meant, and the system revealed that if the Black Forest wasn't cleared within 72 hours, he would be permanently confined to it. Suddenly, something emerged from underground, and tree-like monsters appeared. They growled at them, leaving him in a perplexing situation, especially since he hadn't even finished dealing with Suzuko. However, Suzuko exclaimed that they were food, which bewildered him. She enthusiastically shouted that they looked tasty. Suzuko leaped towards the monsters and began grabbing them one by one with her hands. She put one of the monsters in her mouth, and the system showed Leo that he gained experience points, and Suzuko's hunger level increased. She had consumed a yokai of the trees named Kyo, and acquired wild conversion with a duration time of 20 minutes. Suzuko enthusiastically exclaimed that they were super delicious and grabbed another Kyo from the ground. Leo realized that she could satisfy her hunger by eating monsters, and the system showed that her hunger level was now fully recovered. He knew he needed to address the curse, something he hadn't encountered before. He remembered that he was supposed to be in Sakurada City's Nonecumene, not Naru City's Black Forest. The difference was that Suzuko was there with him. Suzuko asked if he wanted some, but he declined, suggesting she should eat up. Leo began pondering if the dungeon aimed to eliminate Suzuko, which meant it was trying to eliminate her owner, him, through the curse. He realized that within 72 hours, he had to escape or potentially clear the dungeon. But he wondered how he and Suzuko could handle the vast forest. As he contemplated, he failed to notice the ground near him breaking. Suddenly, he heard something and was startled to find numerous Kyo surrounding him. Suzuko anxiously called out to him and used her wild conversion skill to fend off the Kyo launching an attack on him. She grabbed him in the Kyo, expressing concern about his well-being. He assured her that he was fine and commended her for doing a good job. However, he noticed that Suzuko had absorbed the Kyo's skill, and to his surprise, the Kyo started glowing. He warned her to be cautious and get away from them, but then a loud explosion occurred, causing the apartment building to shatter. Meanwhile, 24 hours after the Black Forest manifested in Naru City, Luca tried to reassure the citizens not to be afraid. He claimed to know the enemy's weaknesses and stressed that as a beta tester, everyone should follow his orders. However, when the building collapsed, panic ensued and people fled. Luca was surprised to face a rank 2 Kyo. One person questioned what the creature was, and another asked what they should do because it seemed different from the ones they had seen before. Luca tried to calm the situation by explaining that there was a way to deal with it. He took a deep breath and shouted, "Job holder." Someone leaped from the building and charged towards the Kyo, striking it and causing the ground to break. When the dust settled, a woman stood atop the defeated Kyo. The rank F jurist, Hayashi Miki, confidently inquired if it was a rank 2 Kyo and assured everyone that it was an easy challenge. Luca echoed her confidence, reminding the citizens to follow his orders for an easy victory. But people cheered, grateful that it was dead. making Mickey realize that Luca was adept at convincing people. Couldn't believe that she had only known him for a day. Mickey recalled being cornered by the Kyo and questioned Luca, asking who he was and why he had helped her. Luca explained that he was gathering allies to clear the dungeon and considered a job holder like her to be especially valuable. He introduced himself as a beta tester and asked her if she was interested in becoming a hero with him. However, Mickey had doubts, as she couldn't fathom an ordinary salaryman like Luca becoming a hero. She also noticed that it was an F-rank dungeon, and the monsters were becoming more robust, making her skeptical about the ease of clearing it as Luca had suggested. On top of the tree, Suzuko excitedly declared that it was fun and fabulous. She asked Leo if they could do it again, but he replied that he had enough fun. He recognized that Suzuko had saved him, but at the current rate, he might end up dead. Suddenly, he heard Luca shouting to the people that if they wanted to clear the dungeon, they should follow his orders. Seeing Luca from 10 years earlier, Leo realized that Luca had still been a newbie at that time but was skilled. He considered that teaming up with Luca to clear the dungeon might not be a bad idea. They felt a powerful vibration, and Leo anxiously asked Suzuko what was causing it. She responded that it was food, pointing at the Kyo climbing up the tree and deeming them as tasty. Leo couldn't believe that the Kyo were crawling up the tree. People on the ground were puzzled by the tree's strange behavior. Mickey thought that the citizens were overreacting, and Luca warned that things were not looking good. They observed the tree slowly breaking, and Luca called out to Mickey, shouting for her to run. Unfortunately, the tree fell before she could escape. When the smoke cleared, Leo realized that he was still alive and felt a soft sensation. However, Mickey called him a punk and pointed a sharp dagger at him, warning him to stop moving around. Fearfully, Leo claimed it was just a minor accident. She pulled him out from her chest, asking if he had fallen from the tree and scolding him for his nerves. Leo tried to explain it was a coincidence, as he had been nearby. However, Suzuko broke the ground, asking where he was and where he had gone. Mickey questioned what was happening, but then Suzuko appeared in front of them and announced that she had found him, surprising them both. Leo was about to take action, but Mickey activated her power, asserting that she would handle the situation and protect him from the monster, stating that heroes don't run from danger. Leo was left feeling confused. After Mickey finished preparing her weapon, she glared at Suzuko and teasingly challenged her to come at her, leaving Leo wondering about the unexpected turn of events. He realized that Mickey had mistaken Suzuko for an enemy. Mickey jumped toward a confused Suzuko and used her skill to trap Suzuko inside. Leo shouted a warning to look out, which surprised Suzuko. Mickey thought she had Suzuko trapped, but Suzuko simply slapped her on the side and excitedly asked Leo if he had been worried about her. Leo smiled, knowing that he wasn't worried about Suzuko. He hurried to where Mickey had fallen, asking if she was all right and hoping she wasn't dead. He was relieved to find that Mickey was unconscious. Leo scratched his head, contemplating what to do. Suzuko asked if she could eat Mickey, but Leo firmly told her not to eat people. He carefully lifted Mickey, thinking that if he remembered correctly, she was a jurist in Luca's party. He considered that if he saved her, Luca might let him join the party without any issues. However, he realized that it wouldn't work if they found out about Suzuko. Leo asked Suzuko for a favor to hide for a while. Suzuko questioned why, and Leo responded by asking her the same question. Then, he promised to treat her to something delicious if she hid well and searched for tasty things. Suzuko eagerly agreed and promptly disappeared. Leo sweetly told her that he would search for her treats, so she should be a good girl and wait. The system showed him that the effects of the curse had significantly weakened, making him realize that the curse had weakened, perhaps because Suzuko was hidden. He contemplated the situation, thinking that if that was the case, he would have Suzuko remain hidden. Get Luca to find the boss, and then have Suzuko defeat the boss. A moment later, Mickey woke up and sat up, feeling her head hurt. Leo reassured her that she was awake and expressed his relief that she was okay. Mickey asked what had happened with the monster, and Leo told her that it had run off somewhere, thanks to her help. He respectfully referred to Mickey as older sister. Confused, Mickey admitted that she didn't remember everything clearly but recognized that it had been dangerous. She suggested they go somewhere safe, and Leo smiled, thinking that everything was going as he had planned. Mickey asked for his name, and knowing that they would eventually find out about Suzuko, Leo decided to use a fake name for the time being. He introduced himself as Himajin and asked for her name. She revealed that her name was Hihachi Mickey and invited him to call her Mickey. She offered her hand to him, and he accepted it, expressing that it was nice to meet her. Suzuko watched them and felt a familiar sensation. Leo quietly called Suzuko and instructed her to follow them discreetly so they could find food. Suzuko agreed without hesitation. Miki reminded Leo not to get separated, and he assured her that he would stay close. Suzuko silently followed them from behind. Later, in an abandoned building, Luca asked for the mission report and inquired about Teams 3 and 4's progress in finding Miki. A team member reported that they were still searching for her. Luca wondered what Miki was up to and shouted for everyone to hurry up and find her, acknowledging that without her, their whole party might have been wiped out. The team member assured Luca that they would definitely find her and asked him to calm down. However, the truth was that Luca was more concerned about Miki's extraordinary ability and begged silently that she be safe. Suddenly, Miki entered the building with Leo and greeted Luca. Luca stood up in excitement and warmly welcomed her back. He asked Miki if the boy next to her was her little brother, but Miki clarified that he was not her brother, though she had saved him from a dangerous situation. Suzuko playfully told Leo that only her daddy could see her. Leo greeted Luca and introduced himself as Himajin, concealing his true identity in his mind and implying that it had been a long time since they had seen each other. Leo asked Luca if he could join his party, and Luca welcomed him, saying he could join because he was with Miki. However, Luca couldn't help but find Leo's face seriously creepy, raising suspicions in his mind. To learn more about Leo's identity, Luca decided to use his exclusive skill for analysis. Luca's skill started to analyze Leo while Leo asked if there was something he could help with. As Luca's skill analyzed Leo, it encountered an unknown factor in its analysis. Luca patted Leo's head and commented that it was good to see him motivated. He introduced himself as boss. However, Luca's skills still failed to identify Leo. Leo replied with an okay while Luca wondered why he couldn't see any information about him, and all the tests he ran on him failed. Luca praised Leo for his efforts and suggested that they see. Leo was confused, but then the system issued a warning. Luca realized that the system had failed every time and couldn't determine Leo's identity. Luca suddenly felt pain in his head and saw Suzuko behind Leo, warning him not to peek. Leo asked if Luca was alright, and Luca shouted in fear, remaining silent momentarily as he looked at Leo. Miki asked Luca what was wrong, and Suzuko told Leo that she had just startled Luca a little, making Leo realize it was Suzuko's doing. They then heard a loud noise that startled them all. Luca panicked and asked about the loud noise. As he began to walk toward the source of the sound, a loud explosion occurred in front of them. Luca couldn't believe the factory had exploded and wondered what was happening. One of the men shouted that the tree was moving, and Suzuko asked if they should run. However, Leo whispered to her, telling her to wait and keep his detection ability active. He sensed that the monsters were agitated and wondered what had excited them. Then he noticed the fire on the wall and shouted for everyone to listen to him. He told them to move away from the fire because rank 3 Timber Yakai was approaching. A monster slowly emerged from the fire, and a Timber Yakai with rank 3 abilities appeared, launching its roots to attack them. Everyone screamed in horror. Luca was surprised to see a rank 3 Timber Yakai and wondered how Leo knew about it, especially since Leo was unidentifiable and well-informed. Luca imagined Leo taunting him, suggesting he could defeat him and calling him old news. He wondered if Leo had deliberately tested him and aimed to make a fool of him to take his place as the leader. We came to the end of this video. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please hit like and subscribe for more. Comment your thoughts below. I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to turn on notifications to catch the next part. Your support means everything. See you in the next one.